How you doing? That's Sledge Chapel. This is Reverend Blakemore. I come to you with the greetings of happy 19th of June. We're also coming up on Father's Day this weekend also as well. We have a lot of things that are probably pressing our minds, a lot of things that are giving us cause to sit back and reflect on what's transpiring in today. We have the pandemic, we have Black Lives Matters, we have a lot of things, and yet still God is still on the throne. We have so much to be grateful for those who are able to see me at this time. We thank God for this day. We have a very encompassing and encouraging message coming from Judges, the book of Judges, the 7th chapter, verse 9 through 21. And it simply says that Gideon selects an army. As we see the protests and things that are taking place at this time, we know that we need strong leaders, strong individuals who would stand in the face of discouragement, who would stand in the face of things that we know that are being unjustly done to us. And this is a very, very timely lesson. We have a man by the name of Gideon. And let me go back and talk about Gideon just for a couple of seconds as I get ready to divulge into our lesson. Gideon, at this time, is asking God to show him a sign. I come from a place where there was always said not to question God, not to ask God questions. Let God just do what God does. And we know that he is sovereign, and we know that he is the one who leads us. He's the judge of all judges. So we encompassate ourselves around God. But sometimes God gives us things that we say, God, me? Why me? I would have never thought that I would be a preacher because I'm very shy. I didn't like to speak in front of folks. I put my head down a lot. But yet still he called me to do a job for him. So in this 7th chapter, starting with the 9th verse, Gideon says, and it came to pass the same night that the Lord, see, not just any person, but the Lord said unto him, arise, get thee down unto the host, for I have delivered it into thine hand. Sometimes we tend to think that God, when he gives us an assignment, that he would not give us the equipment to deal with that assignment. God doesn't use lazy people. He doesn't use people who don't move. He uses people who are always active. He uses people who are always diligently trying to do something to make a change. Now, sometimes we try to go ahead and put it into our own hands. And there lies the problem, because when God tells Gideon to arise, it's not Reverend Blakemore, it's not Pastor McDonald, it's God saying, Gideon, arise. Go into these people that have been holding you captive. Go down to these people who have been putting, if I could paraphrase this, putting their knees on your neck. Because those same people that are downtrodden you, those same people who are misleading you, those same people who are doing everything to you to try to succumb you to a point of where you just think that you're less than they are. He said, I got news for him, and I'm going to use you, Gideon. Gideon has a select army. Then it's fascinating because this army starts at 10 to 5,000 people. And a lot of times when we want to go into war, when we want to go into battle, we want everybody to be with us. But dear hearts, this lesson is going to show us that even though they say nay or yay, a lot of them are not with us. We have a choice to make. We have a decision to encompass our lives upon. Verse 10 says, but if thou fear to go down, go thou with plural, thy servant down to the host. Armor bearer. That's a catchy phrase. I don't have a lot of time to go ahead and deal with armor bearer, but this was Gideon's armor bearer. This was the one who, when Gideon was getting ready for battle, would carry his sword, his shield, whatever he needed to be successful in battle. If he called on, whatever Gideon called on, if he called on his horse, if he called on his sword, if he called on his shield, whatever he needed, plural, was the one who would give it to him. Sometimes we have to go ahead and situate ourselves between armor bearers. I know that phrase is mistaken, especially at this time of date. But the armor bearer is very, very crucial. You need somebody who is in the midst with you, because your head can only swivel so many ways. You need somebody that's going to watch your back. There's going to be somebody that needs to be there with you to be able to have an idea of what you're going through. We see that Gideon, he has to face these Midianites. And the scripture says that these Midianites are so many that they look like grasshoppers in the field. They're so terrified by these Midianites that they're in the pressing wine with their heads down. They're thrashing wheat, that they're trying to make food up under cover. Sometimes when we try to do things undercover, God will reveal himself to do it and do it in the open. The 11th verse says, and thou shalt hear that they say, and afterward shall thine hands be strengthened to go down unto the host. Then went he down with plural, and his servant unto an outside of the armed men, they were in host. These men were intent on conquering Gideon. Even though Gideon has leveled his playing field to the best of the best. See, when you get ready to go into battle, you need the best of the best. Those ones that lap like a dog, who were eating out of their hands with their head down, they couldn't see. In battle, you have to be able to see the enemy coming. You have to be able to identify when Satan is about to attack your family. You have to be able to identify when Satan is about to attack your whole relationship with the world. But he sends his armor bearer. His armor bearer comes with him. We can't do this alone. When we have to go into battle, we need one another. That's why it says, "Fear not to assemble yourself with your sisters and your brothers." Yeah, you can sit on the couch and you can look at T.D. Jakes. You can sit on the couch and you can look at Joyce Myers. But until you get ready to be able to have somebody on your team, somebody that is willing to go in battle with you, the battle may not be won. It says, the 12th verse, and the Midianites and the Amalekites and the children of the east lay along in the valley like grasshoppers. There they go again. For multitude, and their camels were without number as the sand by the seaside by the multitude. Verse 13. And when Gideon was come, behold, more was a man and told a dream. There we go. See, our dreams are not lost. It's good to dream because it gives you anticipation. I dream a dream, and lo, a cake of barley bread tumbled into the host of the Midian and came unto the tent and smote it, fell, and overturned it, that the tent lay alone. And this fellow answered and said, this is nothing else save the sword of Gideon, the son of Joash, a man of Israel, for into his hand had God delivered Midian and all the host. And 15th verse, it was so when Gideon heard telling of the dream and the interpretation thereof, that he worshiped and returned into the host of Israel and said, arise. There that word is again. You can't do nothing laying down. You can't go on the war sitting down. You can't have no battle scheme, no strategic obligation when you're sitting down. You got to stand up. And I'm still hard. I'm thinking that there's a lot of people standing, but they're not standing for the right reason. Not standing for money, not standing for monetary gain, but standing because God said stand for this, because this is my word, this is what I do, and this is just. I need some warriors on my team. Thereof that he worshiped and returned into the host of Israel and said, arise, for the Lord had delivered into your hands the host of Midian. When God said he's going to do something, he's going to do it. And he divided the 300. And isn't it funny that he went from 10,000 to 5,000 to 300, and God is still dividing. He's still sorting out. Gideon is doing the selecting, but God is giving him the permission to go ahead and select him in accordance of his instructions. And he divided the 300 men into companies, and he put trumpets into every man's hand with the company pitchers and lamps within the pitchers. And he said unto them, look on me, and to likewise, and behold, when I come to the outside of the camp, it shall be that as I do, so shall ye do. When I blow with the trumpet, and all that are with me, then blow ye the trumpets also on every side of the camp, and say the sword of the Lord and Gideon. So Gideon and 100 men. So he went from 10,000. That's why don't be scared in battle. If you really have the intentions to go ahead and stand up for something that God has already said that we should be able to stand for, he has your back. He goes from 10,000 to 5,000. He goes from 5,000 to 300. Now he got 100 men. How many people do you have in your corner? And they sounding out trumpets. So Gideon and the 100 men that were with him came unto the outside of the camp, and beginning of the middle watch, and they but newly set the watch, and they blew the trumpets, and brake the pitchers and were in their hands. And the three companies blew the trumpets and brake the pitchers and held the lamps in their hands and the trumpets in their right hands to blow withal. And they cried, the sword of the Lord and of Gideon. And they stood every man in his place round about the camp, and all the hosts ran and cried and fled. As I come to a close, we go from 10,000 saying, yeah, we with you. We go from 10,000 to 5,000 saying, yeah, we with you. We go from 5,000 to 300 and say, yeah, we with you. Only to find out that out of all those people, you have a few. That old song that we used to sing, I'm on the battlefield for my Lord. He's not calling no weak-minded people. He's calling for people who will stand on his word and will devour his word and will be able to be translucent to his word and be able to share with his word, because what we're on right now is a battlefield for the Lord. And if you're not able, you ought to have some people that are around you that'll protect you, that'll let you know that you're not alone. We don't have trumpets no more. We got guns, we got ammunition. But it wasn't needed, because what Gideon did, he had all the men to go ahead and plant the lamps so that people thought that there was more than what he had. And not only that, when he did that, he made the enemy think that they had thousands, but he only had 100. Sometimes we just got to deal with what we have in our hands. Moses said, God, what should I use? Use the staff. Right now, we know that we're not able to go to church as we would like to. We can't see our loved ones in the hospital like we want to. People are falling ill day by day, but yet still God is still calling us to the battlefield.